How is it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its DEALMANIA sale right now, and I've got some deals under the price of $10 to go over. Got about 15 deals, as always, to go over, so let's just get right into it, and let's kick things off with a historic low on an incredibly well-received title. Hades is 65% off for $8.74. Obviously, a beloved game from Supergiant Games. The game that really took Supergiant to the next level. Like, I love Supergiant when Bastion and Transistor came out and all that, but there's no doubt about it that Hades took Supergiant to a whole new stratosphere, and obviously Hades 2 just dropped on PC and Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, not available on PlayStation yet, but Hades 1 is still very much a worthwhile game to go back and play. Very, very addicting game, and a game a lot of you guys, I think, will get into, and you can sink a lot of time into it for sure. I didn't get into it as much as a lot of other people, but still, in terms of sheer content and replayability, Hades is going to give you that all day. $8.74 on that is great. Next up, we have Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, 75% off for $9.99, a game that, if you know me, you know I absolutely love. I think it's a shame that Devil May Cry has been on the bench for as long as it has. I mean, DMC5 was so well received back in 2019. We did get this Special Edition release, which was quite good, but we need more Devil May Cry. It's really Devil May Cry and Nier that I think are the two franchises that it's egregious that we don't get consistent outings out of those series. But nonetheless, DMC5 is great. I will say this, I never really got into Devil May Cry from a narrative standpoint. I love the gameplay, I love the visuals, I love the soundtrack, the over-the-top nature. That was all within my wheelhouse. Narratively, I know some people like it, but really, it never did anything for me. But for $9.99 here for DMC5, I think this is a great deal. Hopefully, in the very near future, we'll see the announcement of something Devil May Cry related. Next up, we have Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, 70% off for $5.99. One of the few PlayStation 3, series that has been preserved on the PS4. Thank the high heavens, because Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 are all great games. I will say this, Uncharted 1 very much kind of has that Mass Effect 1 element going on, where that game definitely shows its age. It's still a good game to go back and play, but it is a little bit archaic. It is insane how much Uncharted 2 improved upon Uncharted 1, and I remember growing up and playing Uncharted 1, and then Uncharted 2 came out, and I played that right away. And even back then, when I was like 13 years old, I was blown away by the leaps Uncharted 2 made. And Uncharted 3, the thing about that is, like, the leaps were made with Uncharted 2. Uncharted 3 was a great game as well, but Uncharted 2 really took the franchise to the next level. And, you know, it's just a bummer when you assess the current gaming landscape. Naughty Dog hasn't put out a game in like 7 years. By the time Intergalactic comes out, it'll be 7 years. The entire Uncharted trilogy in Nathan Drake Collection came out in the span of 4 years, 2007, 2009, 2011, and I would argue that these games are better than Last of Us Part 2. Honestly, I know, people are going to take me to the gallows for that one. I know gameplay-wise, Last of Us Part 2 is better, but Uncharted 2, I think, is just as good as Naughty Dog's best games ever, and we were just getting them more consistently, man. That's just what it is, you know, it's an unfortunate reality, but these games are great. $5.99 for the collection is awesome, so definitely recommend that. Sifu, 75% off for $9.99. A game that might not be for everyone, but in terms of addicting action games, it's a pretty darn good one. It is very challenging. I remember getting pretty close to breaking a controller while playing Sifu, but I love the art style. I think Slow Clap really has carved an identity for themselves in that when you look at a game, you kind of know it's a slow clap game. Even with Rematch, with being a different game, you can still tell, okay, that's slow clap through and through with their presentation style. Sifu was a great one. I think for $9.99, it's a really good pickup. Definitely would recommend that. Next up, we have Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster, 60% off for $9.99. Look, Final Fantasy X is one of the greatest JRPGs of all time. Final Fantasy X-2, I don't think is this abomination that a lot of other people make it out to be. However, if you want to find FF10-2 to be an abomination, it really doesn't matter because Final Fantasy X alone is easily worth the $9.99, and X-2, I think, is a good game. Tonality is a little bit different than the original, definitely, but I still think it's a worthwhile game to go through 10-2. But 10 will keep you busy for long enough. If you want to go back and play 10-2 as well after 10, then by all means do that, but for $9.99 to get both games, it's a great pickup. Next up, Borderlands Legendary Collection, $9.99. For the two of you that don't have any of these titles, you get Borderlands Handsome Collection and Borderlands Remastered. So that's Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel with with the majority of the respective game's DLC. The only piece of DLC that you are missing is Borderlands 2's Commander Lilith and the fight for the Sanctuary, which it's not that big of a deal that you don't have that. Like, you'll be fine with the content that is available. It'll keep you busy for a very, very long time. Borderlands 1 and 2 are still fun games to go back and play. I still think you can have a really good time with Borderlands 2 for sure. Borderlands 2, to me, is still the best game in the series. Borderlands 1 is still quite good. Pre-sequel is fine as well. It's a lot of content for your dollar, and these are games that are just fun times to play. And I know a lot of people think Borderlands is only good cooperatively. I disagree with that. I think Borderlands is enjoyable solo. And, yeah, if you want the solo experience, I still think it'll be pretty darn good. Doom Eternal Standard Edition, 80% off for $7.99. Also a historic low here for Doom Eternal, which I think is quite a good first-person shooter. I've talked about Doom in the past, but Doom is not this franchise that I look at through this meticulous lens about assessing all of the gameplay aspects. Look, I get into the game expecting an over-the-top, high-octane, action-oriented experience with a lot of blood and guts, and I get that every time out with some different thematic choices and things of that nature with Dark Ages. But Eternal, I thought, was a really good time. For $7.99, it's a great pickup. Would definitely recommend that. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, 85% off for $8.99. A lot of you guys know that I think incredibly highly about this game. I think this game is super, super underrated, and I went into it not really having any affinity towards the Guardians. I had never watched the Guardians of the Galaxy movies at that point, and I just went into it as like a new single-player game and was blown away by how much I enjoyed it. I love the Guardians as a cast, and I think Star-Lord's super likable. I think Rocket's likable, and the rest of the cast is likable as well. I know some people were a little bit down on the gameplay with you primarily playing as Star-Lord and utilizing the other Guardians' abilities, but I thought it was pretty well done, and the story was pretty good. I feel like they juggled, like, you know, the more serious moments and the comedy pretty well. For $8.99, it's a great deal. Highly recommend that. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is 85% off for $5.99. If you already have Tomb Raider 2013 and you already have ROTR, Shadow of the Tomb Raider for $6 is a great pickup. Generally speaking, if you don't have any of the games, I recommend waiting for the Survivor Trilogy to go on sale, but if you already have the two other titles, SOTR for this price point is really good. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was just a really, really good time from a gameplay standpoint. Narratively, not the best thing in the world, but, you know, we'll let that slide here for $6. The gameplay's great. A lot of content with the Definitive Edition content, the DLC being included. A good shout there at $5.99. Next up, we have Persona 4 Golden, 50% off for $9.99. Now, Persona 4 Golden is a great game. Obviously, Persona 4 is getting remade. Persona 4 Revival hopefully will be out by the end of this year, if not early 27. And that'll be great, but that'll also be $70. So if you want to go back and play Persona 4 for $9.99, I still think this is a worthwhile pickup, and hopefully no, you know, tomfoolery from one Sega delisting Persona 4 or any nonsense like that. You never know with those guys these days. They didn't delist P3P after Persona 3 Reload came out, so let's hope that P4G doesn't get delisted. You know what I'm saying? But $9.99 for this is a really good deal. When it comes to Persona, it's a super consistent franchise, and Persona 4 was a really good one as well. Great soundtrack, of course. Good cast of characters. $9.99 is a good deal on that. Next up, quite possibly the best Telltale game of all time, The Wolf Among Us, is 50% off for $7.49. I usually put it 1A, 1B with Walking Dead Season 1, but Wolf Among Us is awesome. A really great story, a great main character. At this point, I don't know if we're ever going to get the second season actually ever coming out. Like, who knows at this point whether or not that'll actually come to fruition, but nevertheless, $7.49 for Wolf Among Us is a really good deal, and I would certainly recommend it at that price. Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle, 75% off for $9.99. There are some rumors circulating about Bayonetta potentially getting a remake. We'll see if that happens, but $9.99 for both Bayonetta and Vanquish is a great pickup. Unfortunately, Bayonetta 2 and 3 are going to be Nintendo-only titles. Nintendo has the publishing rights to those games, but yeah, Bayonetta and Vanquish are great games. Vanquish, especially, to me, is just such an awesome time. It takes the Platinum Games gameplay and just turns it up to 11. It's just straight up insanity. So $9.99 for both those games I think is great. Definitely would recommend that. Just Cause 3 XXL Edition, $5.99 on that. If you need an open world game that is just no-nonsense mayhem, Just Cause 3 will give you that. You're not going to get emotionally invested into the story of one Rico Rodriguez, but you will have fun having a chaotic time with a lot of explosions and just a lot of chaos. So definitely recommend that at $5.99. Next up, we have Eternights 75% off for $7.49. Now, with Eternights, you really need to know what you're getting yourself into. The game is super cringe at times, but that's kind of the charm of the game. It's anime cringiness, and if you get into that, you'll have a good time with it. The dialogue is super corny at times, but, you know, part dungeon crawler, part dating sim, it's done fairly well for what it does. If you know what you're getting yourself into, I really do think you can have a pretty good time with it. It's just, you know, it's a game that's only 12 to 15 hours long, which is good. This is a game that could absolutely overstay its welcome, but they got out at the right time, which I think is an art that a lot of games can learn from, you know, Eternights actually doing it. But $7.49 on that, pretty good deal there. And then the Shadow Warrior collection is $9.99. I will say, if you're a Plus subscriber, it's only $4.99, which is a bargain. If you are a Plus subscriber, this deal's insane. Shadow Warrior 1 and 2, both for $5 is ridiculous. Again, over-the-top action gameplay, blood and guts galore. Not a game that you'll get super into it narratively, but man, the gameplay is a ton of fun, like quick 8 to 10 hour games that you're gonna enjoy quite a lot. Might even be a little bit shorter than that, but from my recollection, around that range. But $4.99 for both those games, definitely a good pickup if you're a Plus subscriber, but $9.99 if you're not a Plus subscriber, still a pretty decent pickup, all things considered. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great PlayStation game deals live right now. Links to all of these will be in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.